Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it's a very good Dr. Glenn Livingston with defeatyourcravings.com, and I'm here with
Dr. Howie Jacobson of AskHowie.com.
Neither of us are medical doctors. We're the PhD kind. So I've got a quote for you this week, Howie, and this is something that I made up. I don't know exactly where it came from, but I've been saying it for 20 years. And it's one of the first things that I used to tell myself when I would get really hungry after dinner and I thought I couldn't make it through the night. And that was, nobody's going to find my bones by the refrigerator. Nobody's going to find my bones by the refrigerator. In our modern food environment of abundance, we've become accustomed to having to recover from stuffing ourselves at virtually every meal. In corporate settings, it's not unusual to dread the post-lunch meetings because of the low energy associated with this recovery period. At home, most people associate the post-dinner decompression period with a feeling of at least some bloating and digestive difficulty. It's as if our bodies think we still live in the feast and famine environment from 100,000 years ago, and we feel compelled to consume all we can whenever food is available. The truth is, for most of us, except for anorexic, nobody's going to find your bones by the refrigerator if you don't overstuff yourself. Meals are abundant, so if you don't get enough at one, or it isn't completely satisfying, there's always another meal coming right around the corner in a few hours. Do you have trouble stopping after one plate or your requisite portion? Try this. Take 3 deep breaths, breathe in for a count of 7 and out for a count of 11 before you go back for more and say, let it be enough. You might be surprised to find that it is. What do you think?
Oh, I like the breathing. It's almost so many numbers that you're forced to kind of come to the end of ridiculous thoughts. Like you're like in for 7, out for 11. That's like 18 counts of sitting with my own crazy.
I see.
You know? If I act on it right away, I don't even have to question it, right? Because the thinking is preparation for doing, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking that much time makes the rejoinder, let it be enough, the most reasonable thing I've ever said.
Yeah. For me, the somewhat ridiculous and harsh image of people not finding my bones by the refrigerator, it just reminds me that I'm not going to starve. That the feeling that it's not enough is an irrational feeling that's coming from my primitive impulses, and that I don't have to listen to it because I'm not going to starve before morning. So I guess we don't have a lot to say about this one.
Oh, now I feel challenged to say more about it.
Say more.
What comes up? The fact that's what you negate means that at some level, some part of your brain thinks that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yes.
The part of the brain that is responsible for our survival has not been updated, that we're not living in a dangerous world in which death is right around the corner at any moment.
Mm-hmm. And you have to grab every calorie that you can.
Yeah. Once I realized that that's the motivating thought, that I am going to die if I don't eat this, then recognizing what we know about neurology and stress, after I do my count of 11 breathing and the affirmation, and hopefully I step away from the plate and nobody gets hurt, then the work is to take control of my nervous system so that it's not in a constant state of fight or flight that makes that life or death thought so appealing and so easily retrievable.
Something you feel like you have to act on.
Yeah. I'm much less likely to stress eat if I'm in a warm group of friends than if I'm alone.
Oh, yeah.
Or if I've just had a fight with a family member, or right?
Yes, you're going to be in less distress. And when the brain is in distress, it feels like it needs more resources. That's why we're more likely to overeat when things are hard.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for constantly challenging my thinking.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.